sites like that, you need 1,000 subscribers, you need 4,000 watch hours. Like I get a good amount of watch hours. I just gotta pump out enough videos.
Yeah.
I mean, if I pumped out enough videos,
Yeah.
I was getting it.
Trust me, we're kind of in the same thing with this gym.
Yeah.
Trust me, you gonna get the right person. Like my following is okay, but you gonna get somebody that he's gonna put you right on the platform. Yeah. We gonna get somebody that comes in here, will put us right on the platform too. It's gonna come. It's gonna come.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Journey Podcast. Got my guy Gianni Ford here, episode 13. In this episode, we're just gonna, talk about a lot of things that we have in common. Fighting that, that Juco struggle, and we had that same grind, every day, and I feel like we can relate on a lot of stuff. So, what you been up to, man? Quarantine, working out, how you been staying in shape, all that.
Ever since quarantine started, I knew that I kind of had to, step it up. I had to work harder. I knew this was the time for me to get stronger, get faster, recover. Do all the little things that I didn't have time to.
Right.
And that's what I've been doing. So.
Yeah, I seen you was in the backyard, right?
Yeah.
What was that with the shooting machine and everything out there?
Yeah. So, me and my dad and my brother, they've been doing a lot of stuff. Like my brother been training kids for a while, so I had the opportunity to help train kids. I raised a little money by doing that. Me, my dad, and my brother, we combined to get some equipment. We got a Vertimax for a nice deal, and that's something that I never used.
Right.
So come quarantine, that's what I've been doing. So faithfully, I've been on the Vertimax.
Yeah.
Jumping higher, doing moves on it. So stuff like that. We got the shooting machine. He was always rebounding for me, so it's only a certain amount of shots you can get. On that Dr. Dish, I put up like thousands of shots. Easily. So that's a difference. It's a difference.
Yeah, no. I feel like working out outside kind of like brought us back to like growing up, what I mean? Growing up playing at the park.
Yep.
Because, as soon as, all the gyms were closed and everything, that was kind of just what we had to do. And that's all you had was outside. So it kind of brought me back because that's where I really fell in love with it when I started playing at the park and just, playing with your boys and competing outside. It's just a different type, playing in New York outside.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But, we kind of jump into this, about, your journey and your story. So, when did you start, loving basketball and, when did the basketball get put in your hands?
I would say my dad, when he moved here from Panama, he had a couple friends they used to get together, and I forgot where they used to play, but it was somewhere around Union. They used to get together and they would always play. They didn't take the game like as serious because they're coming from another country and stuff like that, but some of them was really good. Going down the road, my brother, he started playing, and not only was he playing, he was taking it super serious. Like, I seen him training with dudes for like 3 hours. Like, I'm around that. Then for him to start playing with like dudes that are now in the NBA, like I mentioned before, Kyle Anderson.
Yeah.
I'm around them since I'm a little kid. So like, when they have halftime, I'm on the court shooting. You get what I'm saying? So that's how I really fell in love with the game. Like I have little cousins like Dallas Watson, DeMarco Watson. When they used to live on East 88th Street in Brooklyn, we used to go around the corner, and we also play in the park. And that's probably where all of us really fell in love with the game. So it's a lot of ways, but I knew it was for me since a young kid.
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. Because I don't know, basketball is it's a different sport. I played, baseball, football, everything, but basketball was the one. It kind of just, I don't know, it sticks with some people, It's a different type, and we all kind of can speak on that same language, and it's just I don't know, it's just a great game, man.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
High school, you're from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And Boys and Girls Club, right?
Yeah, went to Boys and Girls High.
Yeah. So talk about, high school, playing in Brooklyn. How's the, city basketball? What's different there? New York City hoops in the summer. So talk about, your high school experience and that, because, obviously you had a big name in New York City. I remember I played against you at the Iona team camp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we played. You guys.
You played with Team Underrated.
Yeah.
I do remember that game. That's crazy.
So we played you guys first. Then we played St. Ray's with Isaiah Washington, Sid.
And then Lachlan.
Yeah. Was Kaheem there that year, Brown, or?
Nah, he wasn't there.
No, he wasn't there.
I don't think he was there.
Okay, they were loaded, and then I forgot who we played after that, but I definitely remember playing you guys. It was boys and girls. So, yeah, just talk about your high school experience, man, because I know it was, different than a lot of kids, in Long Island or even the kids that we went to Juco with, Texas basketball and all that. New York City basketball is a different breed.
Yeah, so I have to actually start. I got to start from like 7th grade.
Okay.
Because I went to Our Savior New American.
Okay.
Out in Center Reach, and shout out to Coach Kelly Martin and Pastor. They gave me the opportunity to play varsity since I was as a 7th grader.
Wow.
So with that opportunity, I got to play people like Michael Kidd Gilchrist, Tristan Thompson, Kyrie, Dion Waiters. I played him twice. Corey Joseph, and like I'm 7th grader, and I'm really playing. So that right there gave me a confidence boost. Like some games I really scored a lot. I remember my highest game, we played St. Pat's with Michael Kidd Gilchrist and Kyrie, and I had 15 that game.
Wow.
I was shooting threes, a little short kid just pulling threes real quick, but that gave me confidence.
Yeah.
So I knew like from then on, like I could do this. Fast forward 8th grade, I didn't play on the varsity team, but 9th grade, I made the decision to go to Boys and Girls High School, because we played in, my dad put us in a tournament there. And we actually played a kid named Shamari Pons.
Yep.
We were in the 8th grade, and I happened to play really good. And Coach Love was like, "Yeah, I can't let you leave the gym." And for me, I had to say yes, because like I was a Sebastian Telfair fan.
Okay.
Through the Fire, I was lost in that. So I'm like, all right, I'll take this school, because that school is playing Lincoln.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right, I'll take that. Like that's tough. So I'll say my 9th grade year, Coach Love, she threw me right on varsity. I had some tough experience my freshman year, playing behind a tough point guard, Wesley Myers. He was all-city point guard. I remember one time I didn't play the whole game. Love, she decided to throw me in an overtime game against South Shore.
Okay.
I didn't play the whole game, but she decided to throw me in out of nowhere. Gianni, get in the game. I remember I turned it over like 3 times. I was a freshman though.
Yeah, no, it's tough to just get thrown in the fire
but
like that.
She talked to me after the game. She settled me down, and it's just crazy. Like fast forward, like my 10th grade year, I got better. My 11th grade year, I felt like I was the best player in the city, and I felt like that way my senior year too. A lot of games I played good. I made a lot of shots. I feel like in my high school career, I made a lot of plays. I just had some great memories. I feel like I played my best basketball in high school. So it's just great memories. Like playing Lincoln in the Final Four, in the Elite 8 to make the Final Four, like that's just something I'll never forget.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that I'll never forget. Like that's something that's in history. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it builds you up. Like those games, like those New York City games, a lot of people, they can't do it.
Yeah.
I used to say it, at my Jucos and when I would go to schools, and I would have friends from New York on the teams too. We would just tell them, like, you got to be built a little bit differently to play in this atmosphere.
Yeah.
And, a lot of them say like, oh yeah, like I'll be fine. And sure, some of them obviously are talented enough to be good, but it's that mental edge, that you gain in New York City, and you can take that anywhere else.
Yeah, it's a lot of that, like, it's a lot of like pressure from the stands before the game. It's a lot of hype on the internet. Like it's so much that you gotta like deal with PSAL basketball. Like you have to like really be there to understand how it is. So
yeah, it's like it has its own media, it has its own coverage, and the boroughs and all that. So yeah, I couldn't
I a different monster.
Yeah, I didn't get the chance to play high school in the city, but I played all the summer tournaments, Dykeman, all that stuff. So
yeah, that's the same thing.
Yeah, so that's good. So out of high school, finish up at Boys and Girls. What was your recruitment looking like, and what made you ultimately choose St. Francis?
So when I was a sophomore I had the opportunity to play with Ty Jerome.
Okay.
And it was a lot of people on that team. Anthony Munson.
That was New Heights, right?
New Heights, yeah. Baron Goodrich. Like, we had a crazy team. Like, and we were all from New York. We ended up winning the whole Under Armour finals. Wow. So that alone, I started getting a lot of schools. My first offer was from Stony Brook. And I remember Duquesne started walking in Boys and Girls, LIU, Iona, Rutgers. I had a couple schools, Monmouth. I had a lot of schools at the time, but I waited around, and while waiting, some kids took those schools that I had.
Yep.
So coming around my senior year, I didn't have a lot of those same looks that I had, but I had a couple options, and I just felt like the best option was to stay home in Brooklyn, because I'm like, yo, I have the fan base here, I have the love here. Let's just take it, 15 minutes down the road.
Right.
It'll work out. So that was really my main decision on going to St. Francis, staying home, and wanting to see like my family, watch me grow. Yeah. Stuff like that. So that went into my decision.
Okay. Yeah, no, it makes sense. Obviously, a lot of these kids, if you go, the mid to low majors, you have a lot of like hometown kids. You know what I mean? That they've been watching you play since you were a freshman. So like they bring you in as a local guy to hopefully, show other local kids like it's cool to, play at home, you know what I mean, and stay close to home. Because a lot of kids, they go all across the country and stuff like that, and you don't have that, that hometown like relationship sometimes with coaches. But it works out different in everyone's situation.
True.
So, what happened, at St. Francis once you were there, and obviously you ended up leaving there. So talk about your freshman year and your decision to go to Juco.
Well, my freshman year had a couple good games. My last game that I played, that was my best game I had. I had 25 points against Mount St. Mary's.
Yep, I seen that.
There was a couple games I played good. I remember LIU one time I had like 15. Against Bryant I had like 18. It was a couple games I really played good, but it was a lot of games where I didn't like play as much. And being young, being a freshman, I didn't understand, So like I said, like being young, I was a little frustrated with that.
Yeah.
But we get older and you understand more, and you get more patience, and you grow. So I made a decision on leaving that school and going to Juco in Texas called Blinn. I really went there because a dude on my coaching staff named Nolan Johnson, he was there at my high school at Boys and Girls.
Okay.
He played with Naharak at Oklahoma.
Okay.
And he was like, I guess he was in the league for a little bit, and I guess something happened with him. But he was like, till this day, he's really good. So took his advice. That was his old coach, Coach Schumacher at Blinn.
Yeah.
So I decided to go there. I'm like, all right, it worked out for him. It should work out for me. We had a really good team. Like, we were stacked. And I guess for Juco, that's like a bad problem to be stacked, because you want to perform really good, but it's like, I have that respect for my teammates. Like, it was some great teammates that I had, like Antoine Lester, Marquise Houston. Like, these dudes were hoopers that I went out to Texas. I'm like, I'm doing my thing, but these dudes, they could get their own too.
Yeah.
And it's like all of us is on one team. So I guess my coach, he wanted to do 5 in, 5 out. And it worked a couple games. Going into my last 2 games, I played my best games against Jimmy Butler's old school.
Tyler Junior College, yeah.
Tyler. I had 21 that game. And then I remember we played Trinity Valley after that. And it was we was playing against the kid from Baylor. Yeah, Wendell. And it was halftime. It was going in towards halftime. And I had about like 10, 9, and 7. Like, I was about to have a triple-double in the first half. And this is just off of the last game that I just played good. I went to the basket. My leg buckled a little bit. Got injured. Had to sit out the rest of that year. So, it's been a tough experience.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but I mean, all this, me and my guys, we always talk about, everything does happen for a reason. Yep. You don't see it then, but you'll see it, when the time comes. But Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we played against each other in
we
in
did.
Juco. Yeah, I was at Bossier, so we played
I
first.
remember like it was yesterday.
Yeah, no, for real. I remember. I still got my highlight tape. That was one of the first clips. A few of those.
And it's crazy because like when you're so far away from home, like that's really far away from home. And to see somebody that
I remember when we just saw each other. It was like, oh shit,
like that's crazy. Like it's like, yo, we're like a million miles from home. But it's like, yo, we're on the same mission. So
yeah, I remember that game. I had one of my luckiest shots. I remember I drove left.
I think you shot with one leg or something.
Yeah, like the shot clock was running down. You closed out hard on me. I pump faked. I took 2 dribbles to the left. I pump faked, and then I tried to draw the foul. I threw my body into you. They didn't call it. I threw it up and it went in at the buzzer.
Yo.
I remember that one. That was tough.
I actually remember that.
Yeah,
That's
it was
crazy.
on the left side by my bench.
That was tough though. That was tough. I admit it. That was tough.
Yeah, but we had some. That conference was crazy, man. We were talking about before. How would you compare that level, the Region 14 to the NEC? Because, I mean, I haven't played at Division I level, but, I mean, from watching, I feel like, that Region 14 is, if not the same level as low Division I, or some of these teams are better, more talent.
Like I said before, I had some kids on my team. They were doing, like, all the players that I've said that I've seen, they were doing stuff that I've never seen before on my team. Like, the kid Antoine Lester, he's my height, but he's jumping from the free throw line, dunking. Yeah. Shooting the ball, not missing. There's a kid named Tyrus. That kid he jumped the highest I ever seen. People jumping with him, he's turning his side on them and dunking on them. In the game, jumping over people.
Yeah, bro.
So, like, I wasn't witnessing that stuff my freshman year. So, like, I know for a fact that, like, it's talent everywhere, Some people just got to wait their turn, and their time's going to come. But for sure, that talent out there is different. Yeah. And you just got to see it to really beat it. Like those kids are strong. Those kids they jump high, they can shoot. So you got to be ready going JUCO too. Like it's not a cakewalk. Like,
Yeah, because, a lot of when we go from New York to those down south JUCOs, a lot of those kids most of them are from those areas, Louisiana, Texas, they're from the South and stuff like that. So we're kind of like outsiders. Yeah. We play way different than they do, But it works to our advantage as well because we do stuff that they've never seen.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it all works out in the end, but for a lot of people that don't know how real JUCO is, Texas, Florida, Kansas, some in the Northwest and Utah, bro, it's different. Cali JUCOs. Yeah. So,
people are starting to take a lot more notice in, I feel like, in the JUCO basketball.
Oh yeah, 100%. Especially once they did the coverage on Jimmy Butler in the finals and talking about Tyler Junior College.
I think there was a kid that was drafted from JUCO too. He was pretty good.
Oh yes, the lefty.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I forgot his name. He played at the one in John A. Logan, I think.
Yeah. So
but even good. Chris Anderson, Birdman, got drafted out of the school you went to.
Yeah.
Went to Blinn. So it's there's a lot of talent everywhere, man. So if you're getting recruited and JUCO is the only option you've got, don't
hesitate.
Yeah, don't turn that offer down.
That's an opportunity that you might miss.
Yeah, one year could change your life, bro. JUCO, I've seen it firsthand with some of these kids that, they were at my school. They had nothing going into that. They do 1 year. They got 10 mid-major offers, and and now they see bright future. But before that, they're just like, man, I'm just going JUCO, and they didn't know what to expect.
And like I said before, like I was practicing in front of LSU every day.
Yeah, the opportunities.
LSU, Texas Tech,
unmatched.
I was in front of them every day in practice. So that's what.
So, obviously, after your sophomore year at Blinn, how was the recruiting there, and what made you choose to go to Canisius? Obviously, after the injury, and I'm sure you had schools on you, stuff like that, but an injury hindered that.
Yeah. So when I was at Blinn, before I got injured, I was talking to a lot of schools. I was talking to Tennessee State. I was talking to SMU. A lot of schools were interested. A lot of schools were offering. But after I got hurt, it was like, it took a lot of coaches away, but I knew that would happen. But the whole time I never doubted myself. You know what I mean? Like I knew I was injured. I just got to get back in shape. I got to get back on the court. So that whole time I took my rehab like super serious. Like I was there every day. I put the work in and more to get back. Like I didn't want to come back like a regular player. I wanted to come back stronger, faster, jump higher, and I did that. So now, going towards the end of my my physical therapy, where my time is up, for my injury, I remember every day my physical therapist would ask me like, yeah, what school are you going to? What school are you going to? I didn't really know at the time, but Coach Eddie Shannon called me after Canisius started about 3 weeks of school already. So I was already like focused on not going to school, just working out, getting stronger, just getting back to it next time. But he called me, and my dad was like, yo, you have to take this opportunity because, I mean, I wasn't going there to play. I was going there to redshirt.
Yeah.
But my dad knew it was important for me to go out there and play after I got injured.
Yeah, play against guys that were talented and,
yeah,
because there's a difference between just staying home, working out, getting your body right, but actually, practicing every day with Division I guys and going through that whole thing. So, so it's the right choice.
So I went through preseason training. That gave me confidence in my body that I could do the college work and more. I showed up every day to practice, and I had battles. I had battles with, I know you guys know Malik Johnson from Canisius. He was like, his story speaks for itself. Yeah. Isaiah Reese, he's in the G League right now on the Santa Cruz Warriors. I was going at him every day. One of my close friends, and also Takar Molson. Okay. He's in Seton Hall. So I'm going at it with them every time. So anytime like, coach would throw me in, I'm trying to see what I could do. Yeah. And there was sometimes I really played good, and I shocked myself because coming off a summer with not really touching the basketball, just doing physical therapy, like I shocked myself how good I was playing. So I could have played that year, but I just decided to just sit it out just to be safe. Speaking with my doctor and people like that, they was just like, yo, just sit it out. Let's be safe. We'll be back at it next year. But as the year ended, the coach who got me there, he ended up going to Eddie Shannon. He went to go to Tennessee Chattanooga. Okay. So when he did that, it was a little tough for me because the team like without me, they didn't have like a great season like how they were supposed to, because they were a really good team too. So they fell short of expectations a little bit. So the coaches just went a different way, and it is what it is. It is what it is. So yeah. So after that, so you've been out of school what, 1 or 2 years now? Yeah, like a year and a half. Year and a half. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, like how's that been? And what have you been doing to obviously stay in shape and hope for the the best next opportunity to come? To me, it's like a blessing in disguise because like I said, like my first 2 years, I feel like everything was happening so fast. Like games were ending so fast. My season was over so fast. Like I wasn't like playing to my best of my ability. I was frustrated. This time gave me a time to sit back and look at things from a different perspective. So this whole time, like I said, I've been working on my body. I've been doing workouts that I haven't been doing before. Like I said, I've been shooting thousands of shots every day. I wasn't doing that. I didn't have the opportunity to do that. I use the Vertimax every day. I didn't have the opportunity to do that, and I lift now. Before, like I couldn't, like I used to, Juco in my freshman year, I used to I never lifted. I would see a basketball, and I have to go play basketball. I have to go, like I'm not lifting. I have to go play basketball. So now it's like a balance. Like I wake up, I lift weights. I got a sled that I do. Vertimax, like I said, my brother's my trainer. We go at it every day, and I have pros that are around me, pushing me every day too. Yeah. So I feel like when I get back out there, it's gonna speak for itself. It's gonna speak for itself. So yeah,
people don't think about how important taking care of your body is too, because it's injury prevention. You're stronger, faster, quicker. That's just as important as the basketball side. Yeah. And as we get older, we're same age, so it's like we didn't realize that when we was 19, 20, we just wanted to go and play and work out, do handle, all that stuff, shoot. But the weights, once you get older, that's way more important, especially as guards. We got to be able to absorb the contact, fight through screens, and that was my wake up call at Juco, where I was like, I gotta work on my body and stuff like that. Because these kids, bro, they're naturally gifted. Like they're just natural athletes. The down south kids, they're just different. They have different
I already
bodies than a
know.
lot of us like New York are. So, you know, that weight part is a huge factor.
And like today, like even today, like before I even like I've been going hard all week, but before I even touched the ball, we had a recovery guy coming here.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that on Instagram.
Recovery mode. He's gonna start coming in here a lot. He comes and he helps me. Like I take care of my body. Like when I was a like I said, when I was a freshman and sophomore, I was not doing this. Like we'll go through a hard workout and I'm going home. Like now, I go through a hard workout. I got recovery boots. I got the stem machine.
Yeah.
I got this. I got so much stuff to help me. Ice baths, like.
Yeah.
And I actually do it.
Yeah, it's important, bro.
I do it because it not only it makes me feel better too.
Yeah,
It makes me feel better.
Yeah.
So.
And you perform better. You know what I mean? You'll perform better the next day.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, one of the main questions I wanted to talk about this, man. This is great. You know what I mean? Opening up your own gym and, you know, having this with your brother. This is crazy. So talk about, you know, this process and what this means. Because, you know, for a lot of us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a dream for basketball players to have this, you know.
Well, first, I got to thank God for putting us in that situation. Second of all, I got to thank my brother because he did a lot of the groundwork, you know, while I was at school. Those first 2 years, he was driving around, training young kids in Roslyn. I'm talking about from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Just like we run hours here, he's doing that outside.
Building your brand,
Building the brand. So, other than that, for my dad too, like we've been, you know, like I said, he does stuff for kids with autism that play basketball. We do that every weekend. We used to do that at Roslyn High School. So now for us to have a space for those kids to come in too.
Yeah, that's great.
It's like, it's beautiful. Like for me, I never had a place where I could come in, like I said, and do all of this stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'm here every day. Like I'm talking about like, if I don't feel like working out, I end up working out.
Yeah.
So like that's just the beautiful part about it. Like I really gotta thank my brother though. My brother, my dad, they did that hard work for this. So I gotta thank them.
Yeah. No, that's
sure.
amazing, man. It's awesome. So, you know, this is obviously, like you said, it's a blessing, and you know, I'm sure this is gonna take your game to the next level and, you know, prepare you for whatever comes for next year. Another question I wanted to ask. So, on my last podcast, we spoke about, you know, failure as a necessity before success, before you know, reach your peak and, you know, hit your dreams, all that stuff. So talk about like one of your biggest failures, you know, and how did you learn from that?
I wouldn't really say failures because I mean I had some good games, but I would describe it as failures as my freshman year not playing. Dealing with that whole thing was like a failure to me because like I wanted so much for myself, and I knew I could have did it at the time.
Yeah.
But I wasn't getting the opportunity, so like it was out of my control.
Yeah.
So like I would say things that are out of my control, I'm learning to handle that. So stuff like that, dealing with adversity, having a bad game. I used to be so hard on myself. You know, you're a freshman, you want more, you want to kill, you want to do what all these other kids are doing.
Yeah.
So just being patient with myself, like understanding that, you know, I might not score this play, but I could score later on. Like it's gonna be fine. Like, also just learning and watching the game. Like I watched the game so much. Like I remember when I was a freshman and even my sophomore year, like I was known for shooting and dribbling. Like I know you know that too.
Yeah.
Like shooting and dribbling.
Yeah.
I like to cross people, I like to shoot. So going into my freshman and sophomore year, that's what I was looking to do. But I didn't understand how to do it. So like sometimes I would run the play and nobody would understand. Like I would call a screen, and instead of coming off the screen and shooting, I'll come off the screen and try to do a move. I didn't see the shot. But learning over the years, watching stuff, like my game has slowed down so much.
Yeah,
it's
that's
slowed
important.
down so much. So like it's to the point where I know when to do this move. I could use a screen and do this and hit the person. Like I know when to make those passes.
Yeah.
All of those stuff that I was not seeing before, I see now.
Yeah.
And that's just like you said, because of those failures.
Yeah, and that's what we speak about, me and my team. You know, we speak so much about, you know, there's really no such thing as a failure. That's why I was kind of like getting at too, because like it's not a failure, bro. They're just like lessons, you know, and sometimes they're harder than others, but most of the time you're gaining something from those. And obviously you've grown so much since your freshman year, and you know I faced that same reality where I remember my freshman year when I first went there, and I thought I could do the same things I did, playing in Long Island and New York, and you can't. College is a different game, so you got to adapt and you got to find your niche as a player. You know what I mean? I was a facilitator. I was an end of the shot clock guy. I was a break you down and kick. You know what I mean? Hit my open shots, floaters. You know what I mean? Here, you know what I mean? There's 6'4" bigs. You can just go and lay them. You can't do that in college.
You might bring the ball up. You might have an open shot. You can't shoot it because you got to run the play.
Exactly.
That stuff I didn't really understand at the moment, but I understand now.
Yeah. As you get older, bro, with time and experience, that's all it is.
For sure.
During this whole process, who's been some of the most like influential people that you looked up to? Obviously, your brother, father, but like I would say, in the basketball world that, maybe you played against, a pro, someone you really look up to, who's impacted your life for, the better.
It's a lot of people that I got to thank. Like I said, Coach Love before. She helps me till this day.
How was that, having a female coach?
She's amazing.
Yeah?
She's amazing. Like, people look at her, she's just as hard as you
as
anybody else. Like, you make a mistake, she's on you. Like, she's going to let you know. But me and her, we still talk to this day. She makes sure I'm all right. She told me over New Year's that she hopes, I stay healthy this year and that I get everything that I need. The kids that I train give me a little inspiration because like just seeing how bad they want it. Yeah. Sometimes like I watch younger kids that like I don't know if you know a kid named Peyton Kemp.
No.
Well, he's basically one of the top 7th graders out right now. Like,
really?
Yeah, he's really good, but he's been around since I was at Boys and Girls. He's Coach Love's nephew. Okay. He's been around since I was at Boys and Girls. So people like him, seeing them come in and put their work in. Yeah. Even seeing people come in here and put their work in. Yeah. That inspires me. It inspires me to get up and do more. Pat the Rock. Okay. I gotta thank him. He opened his gym for me in Maryland to do a workout. He made me meet one of my childhood heroes, Steve Francis. Wow.
Another Juco guy, San
Another
Jack.
Juco guy. Yeah. And anybody who knows me, they know how much I love Steve Francis. Yeah. It's so much people. Kyle Anderson.
Yep. Slow mo.
Yeah, slow mo. Jason Boswell. He comes in here and pushes me every day. It's a lot of people. So
yeah.
It's a lot of people. List goes on.
Basketball world is. There's a lot to be, gained from here. And and you could take a piece from all these different people. With mentality. The way to look and read a defense or even defensive stuff. There's so much you can pick from the basketball side, and then obviously as a person and as a human there's so much you can gain, like even more. So for sure. Obviously a lot of these people have played a major impact in your life and played a big role.
Kobe Bryant too, especially. Rest in peace, Kobe.
To the late Kobe, man.
Him too, for sure.
I still can't get over that to this day. I think about it all the time, bro.
I was crying. It was around the same time. It was around the same
January.
Around the second. It was around that time, but I couldn't believe it. I was crying.
I'll remember that day, for the rest of my life. I remember we was all at school. We was at Juco, and I remember I was playing Madden, and my boy texted me like, "Yo, Kobe died." I paused the game. I was like, "No, he didn't. What are you talking about?" He's like. And he sent me the TMZ thing. I was like, my heart just dropped.
Me and my brother, we was at the program that we were just telling you, the kids with autism. So we're in Roslyn High School, and I went to go get a chair for a parent, and I remember the kids in the other gym was like, they looked sad for some reason. I'm like, why they look sad like that? Like they better go and play. Yeah. What's wrong with them? So I go back in the other gym, and my dad comes to me and tells me. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? Yeah. But then once I went on my phone, I just sat on the floor. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
Yeah, bro. We all just, all of us was just like in one room. Everyone was crying. We was just watching Kobe highlights. Bro, I didn't want to get out of bed. I was just laying down. Like, it feel like you lost a family member, bro. Like,
and when I tell you Kobe's the one who got me through high school. Like, I was watching the Muse documentary every day at my grandma's house going to school. Yeah, bro. So that was just crazy. It was just crazy.
Sad, man. Yeah. Sad. Obviously you've grown so much as a human and a basketball player and as a man. So talk about, what are the biggest things? I know you just talked about patience and, learning how to deal with adversity, but how much has your mentality changed as a man and a basketball player since, say, even your freshman year? Because it's been 2.5 years since that time.
Yeah, I got to thank people like my brother, like for stuff like this. Like he showed me how to be like a grown up.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, I didn't want to get up and like after I work out, train kids and do this and do that. I want to work out, go home, relax. But working, like training kids and stuff like that, it gives you something like, it's like I gotta show up every day.
Yeah.
So whether it's for basketball, whether it's for practice, sometimes I didn't feel like practicing. Just like sometimes I don't feel like doing, training kids.
Working out, right? Yeah.
Just like that, I just gotta showing up and give people, your best effort. Whether it's on the court, whether it's off the court, whether it's giving somebody your attention, whether it's being where you're supposed to be, and just doing the right things.
Yeah.
So you get your blessings that you're supposed to get. So stuff like that. So
it's good, man. And then lastly, the only thing I really wanted to say was, what would be some advice you would give a kid chasing the same dream as you? Say, I know you train kids, but say a kid in the same situation as you, going to a local school or something like that, or going to Division I, and maybe having to bounce back JUCO. What's some advice you would give him, that you wish you had during these times, as a freshman and sophomore in college, and just a young hooper trying to chase your dream?
Continue to work, because the work, that's one of the main things that has to be put in. If you have reps, and if you worked out the right way, you prepared the right way, you shouldn't be really worried. And that's something that I would tell a kid, like, all right, say you went to this game and you didn't play this game. That didn't mean that you're not good. That didn't mean that you didn't prepare. Stuff like that. Just wait till the next game. Wait till it's your turn. When it's your turn to get out there, you got to show them. Yeah. You got to show them that you're made for that opportunity. And like I said, if you put in the work, you just got to be patient, and everything will come. Like I said before, take care of your bodies. A lot of kids out here, like especially the coaches out here in high school, they run the kids a lot. They do a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? You got to make sure these kids recover. You got to make sure these kids are drinking a lot of water, eating healthy, so they could stay healthy. You don't want these kids breaking down before they even get to college. Yeah. So, and that happens a lot. Yeah. That happens a lot. So, take care of your body, stay focused, and stay on the craft. Stay grinding. So, that's really it.
It's good, man. Appreciate you, coming on.
Yes, sir.
This is dope.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Y'all stay tuned. To the end. We're about to work out.
Yes, sir.
So get a little workout in. Y'all can see some of that footage, man. But see y'all on the next episode.
Yes, sir.